All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Dion's Daily Dose. This is Triple D Presents Face to Face with Dion and Shawn. I'm Dion.
And I'm Shawn.
And today we're going to talk about unintended consequences and kind of a variety of things. So, the first thing that I want to talk about is I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there was a boy who got killed by a driver from Haiti, I believe, is the story, right?
Yep.
Aiden Clark, I think that was the boy's name. All right. So the parents, I guess, of Aiden Clark went in front of the council or whatever and had some things to say. We're gonna look at what they have to say. Now, first of all, they say some weird stuff, man. They do. I just want to put that out there. However, and this is really, really important, guys, unless you've lost your child, I can't judge them. I have no idea what their life is like, what the pain they've gone through. I have no idea. So just bear that in mind. I give them a lot of grace because who's to say how that has affected them? All that said, they say some really, really weird stuff at the beginning. As a matter of fact, Memology 101, the title says, I have absolutely no idea how to title this video. Here it is right here. See it? And that's a really good description. Here we go. Yikes. Yeah, it was 11-year-old student Aiden Clark dead as Haitian immigrant without a driver's license, misspelled license, crashes into Ohio school bus. Okay. Horrible.
It is.
Now, check this out. Yes, you read that right. For those of you who listen instead of watch, Post Millennial tweet says parents of Aiden Clark say they wish son was killed by white man instead of Haitian because GOP used it as example of migrant crime. Okay, that's pretty messed up. The actual audio is worse. Here we go.
We felt it would be in our best interest to be here after recent comments. You know, I wish that my son, Aiden Clark, was killed by a 60-year-old white man. I bet you never thought anyone would ever say something so
stupid. Yeah, I didn't.
Odd.
Look, and again, I am really struggling here because that is an asinine, just stupid thing to say. If my child was killed, I don't give a damn who did it. I'm going to be angry at the individual who did it.
About the individual that did it, not the collective.
Right.
They're making it into a collective.
Interestingly enough, right, we're told that we should judge people as individuals, not based on the color of their skin, their ethnicity, religion, any of that, right? And I'm a firm believer in that. Because I've met some stupid ass white people and I've met some stupid ass people of all different races. I've also met some extremely intelligent people of all different races. All that said, why aren't you angry at the individual? They even make excuses for him. Here we go. Hold on. Let me just play this because
blunt. But if that guy killed my 11-year-old son, the incessant group of hate-spewing people would leave us alone. The last thing that we need is to have the worst day of our lives violently and constantly shoved in our faces.
Now, I'm going to pause briefly because that part I agree with wholeheartedly. When you lose a child, right, for example, or any loved one, but there's a death, and you care about that person greatly. The last thing you want to do is flip on your TV and be reminded of that death, right? So from that aspect, I think I get what he's trying to say. The death would have flown under the radar and it wouldn't be plastered all over the news all the time. If he's trying to say that, I get you, homie. I do. I understand. It has to be infuriating to click the TV on and to see somebody talking about your dead child. That would infuriate me. However, taking that and turning it into, I wish my child was killed by someone other than they were killed by, that's a bridge too far, in my opinion.
But even that's not good enough for them. They take it one step further. They make it seem as though our wonderful Aiden appreciates your hate, that we should follow their hate.
Who is they? That's one of my questions about this. It's very much of a collective, right? A collective they. And again, let's ignore the fact that this guy was an immigrant without a driver's license. And I wish it was an old white man who had killed him, because what? Because then the left is right? I'm failing to see the
connection.
However, yeah. However, we are constantly told not to judge people based on a collective, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you dare quote crime statistics from the FBI, because that's racist, right? Collectively, when a certain small percentage is responsible for a large percentage, then you would look at that percentage and go, but you can't do that because that's racist. I mean, I maybe I'm making too many leaps here. That's possible. But let me let you listen to the rest of this.
And look what you've done to us.
You who?
We have to get up here and beg them to stop. Using Aiden as a political tool is, to say the least, reprehensible for any political purpose.
Now, I do agree with a certain aspect there. Many of our politicians have gotten out of control with using examples of tragedies to further agendas. At the same time, there's a reason why it's said, never let a good tragedy go to waste. Because if it bleeds, it leads, right? That's how the media works.
And speaking of morally bankrupt, politicians, Bernie Moreno, Chip Roy, J.D. Vance, and Donald Trump, they have spoken my son's name and used his death for political gain. This needs to stop now.
Now, let me ask you this. Are they using his son's name for political gain, or are they calling attention to a problem affecting a community or America as a whole?
And I was just going to make that point.
And I think that that's a fair question that needs to be asked and answered. Because if you are using the death of an 11-year-old to score political points, you're a sick son of a bitch.
Yeah.
You are. If, on the other hand, you're going, hey, guys, we need to wake up because this is happening.
There is a difference.
There definitely is a difference. And it's just like the subject of gun control. Anytime there's a horrible tragedy, the left has no problem jumping on the bandwagon to enforce gun control. Yeah. Just saying, I'm that fan.
They can vomit all the hate they want about illegal immigrants, the border crisis, and even untrue claims about fluffy pets being ravaged and eaten by community members. However, they are not allowed, nor have they ever been allowed, to mention Aiden Clark from Springfield, Ohio. I will listen to them one more time to hear their apologies. To clear the air, my son, Aiden Clark, was not murdered. He was accidentally killed by an immigrant from Haiti.
Now, I'm gonna say this again. I don't know what they've been through. I cannot. I can empathize, right? I can go, I hurt for you because I'm sure that hurt, dude. Let's not, mince words. Regardless of your political affiliation, the death of a child is one of the hardest things any parent can go through. But shouldn't you be fucking angry at the person who killed your child, whether it was an accident or not?
Yeah.
And to say it was just an accident, that's some forgiving ass shit. So if you can forgive a migrant for breaking the law in multiple instances and leading to the death of your child, if you can forgive them, then why can't you forgive people who are trying to call attention to a problem? Let's finish this up.
This tragedy is felt all over this community, the state, and even the nation. But don't spin this towards hate. In order to live like Aiden, you need to accept everyone. Choose to shine, make the difference, lead the way, and be the inspiration. What many people in this community and state and nation are doing is the opposite of what you should be doing.
First of all, who the fuck are you to tell me what we should or should not be doing? You're a dude. Yeah, when it comes to your child, fine. But let me tell you something, homie. You got no control over other people. Zero, zilch, none, nada. And as such, people are going to talk about tragedies that happen in our country, especially when these tragedies are preventable. These are preventable tragedies. All this guy had to do was follow the law. He did not. Your child is dead. My heart breaks for you. I can't even imagine what you went through. At the same time, I'm going to say we have no idea how their friends, neighbors, group is spinning things that are going on, right? How many times are they hearing, Trump or this person is trying to spin your child's death into by an outside force, right? Look at the mainstream media news, dude. It's all propaganda. So it's very easy to turn on the TV and go, you piece of shit. How dare you mention my child, right? I get it. At the same time, though, you can only control your own actions. And going in front of and ultimately on national television and telling people you wish your child was killed by a certain ethnic group, that's fucked up thinking, dude. That you're wrong. You're wrong for that, homie. You just are. Everything else, I kind of get. That? Nah, you need to reevaluate. Here we go.
I wish that my son, Aiden Clark, was killed by a 60-year-old white man.
Yeah,
What an odd thing to say.
it really is.
Right. That's exactly it. What an odd thing to say. So once again, we're faced with the law of unintended consequences, right? Whenever you do something, invariably, it leads to something you didn't expect. There's actually several, I'm sure, but a particular YouTube channel that it's a feature, right? Where they constantly talk about unintended consequences from various things. So here's one. And it relates to that because we're talking about drivers who shouldn't have been driving. But let me share a story with you, and then I'm going to tell you why we should care. This is from CBS News. September 11th, 2024. Lawmakers call for change after RMV, which I believe is the Massachusetts version of the BMV or the DMV. Probably something motor vehicle. I don't know. Revokes hundreds of commercial driver's licenses in Massachusetts. Okay. So the RMV, basically the BMV or whatever, I'm guessing, revoked hundreds of commercial driver's licenses across the state of Massachusetts. Okay. Why? Lawmakers are now deciding what needs to change after hundreds of Massachusetts bus and truck drivers had their commercial driver's licenses revoked due to violations from decades ago, leaving some of them out of work. Truck drivers losing jobs. Michael McDonald gets emotional talking about the RMV taking away his CDL and his license to drive a car, both the CDL and his regular operator's license, all because of drunk driving cases he had in the 1980s, dude.
Wow.
Quote, "It's devastating. I cry every night. The registry has no idea what they are doing to me, and they don't care," said McDonald. Since he got the notice from the RMV at the end of August, McDonald said he is no longer able to work at Ground Effects Landscaping in Carver, where he has been employed for the last 17 years. He worked there as long as my youngest child has been alive. Think about that.
Wow.
That's crazy, man.
That is. There should be a statute of limitation to that.
Yeah, we'll talk about it at the end. His boss, Shawn Bishop, who owns Ground Effects, said McDonald is a valuable employee and named one of his new dump trucks for McDonald, having the decal Captain Mike put on the driver's door. It was his truck. He got it for him. Captain Mike. Yeah. Unable to drive, Bishop had to lay McDonald off last week.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
And don't blame the business owner. For those of you out there that's like, oh, he should have found a way or he should have did this. What's he supposed to do?
Yeah.
He hired him as a driver. He's worked as a driver. If the guy can't drive, what's he supposed to do? The word insane comes to mind, that the registry can just decide to, out of the blue, to go back, in Mike's case, over 30 years and look at offenses that he already dealt with through the legal system, and now they're punishing him again, said Bishop. Lifetime look back at violations. So what is going on here? McDonald is not alone. 2 weeks ago, the I-Team told you the RMV revoked the commercial driver's licenses of 482 drivers using what's called a lifetime look back at violations. In McDonald's case, he went before the Board of Appeals in 2017 at the RMV, who agreed to give him a CDL. So in 2017, he went through the appeals process and they said, yeah, okay, you're good.
This is on top of already having a shortage with truck drivers.
Right. Bear in mind, we are suffering a nationwide truck driver shortage. Since then, McDonald said he has not had any motor vehicle violations. So in 2017, all right, so for those of you bad at math, that's 7 years ago, he went before the Board of Appeals, and because they said, hey, you got these stuff from way back, you really shouldn't have a CDL. He's like, yeah, but, right? It's like me, dude. I was a dumbass when I was 18. Like, I did stupid shit and I got arrested for it. But I haven't done anything like that since then. I mean, 40 years ago. Like, okay, not quite 30 years ago. Yeah. Come on, man. Like, dude. All of this is happening now because the RMV did not enforce provisions in Melanie's law that went into effect in 2005. The law prohibits repeat drunk drivers and drivers who refuse to take a breathalyzer from holding a commercial driver's license. Okay, let's unpack that for just a moment. Because this is a little more nuanced than the RMV is just wrong. Right? Anyone who has multiple drunk driving infractions should not be a professional driver, especially if it's recurring, right? Now, when you're 18, 19, 20 years old, 22, and you're out, you're doing stupid shit, right? You're going to do stupid stuff and you get a DUI, right? That alone should not prevent you from going on to do good things, however that is, with commercial driver's license or otherwise. But if you have a history, click, 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 click. See, that is what they were aiming for, because the individual initially had multiple drunk driving infractions and they were still allowed to keep their CDL. The RMV's failure came to light in 2019 when a truck driver whose license should have been suspended was involved in a New Hampshire crash that killed 7 members of a Marine Corps motorcycle club. Okay, now, when a big tragedy like that happens, lawmakers tend to overreact. And I would even go so far as to say most of the like knee-jerk reactionary laws that are on the books often go too far. I'm going to give you an example. Red flag laws here in Indiana. A horrible tragedy happened. Somebody did something. And in return, lawmakers went, we got to stop this from happening again. A noble goal. But they tend to draft legislation in such a way that it can be abused.
Mm-hmm.
And is that what we're seeing here? Let's keep going. Quote, the old registry really screwed up the system, said State Rep Jeffrey Turco. And to now say, well, we're fixing our mistakes, and then we're going to just brutally punish these drivers by taking away their livelihood, I think, is a wrong-hearted approach. Gee, you think? There's a real injustice in the way the mistakes of the government are being put forward on the people. We do need to fix that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Call to amend Melanie's law. Lawmakers agree that the only way to fix it is to amend Melanie's law and limit the look-back period. I think that's the best option. The federal government has a 10-year look back on a commercial driver's license history. State Senator Peter Durant said, deciding on how long the look back should be is part of a bigger conversation with colleagues in the legislature. Durant says the priority is keeping people safe on the road. Now, I take issue with that right there because the priority should always be freedom. The second priority should be safety. We have to do so many times we're erring on the side of safety, right? Seatbelt laws. Seatbelt laws were driven by the insurance company. You know that, right? The entire process, you can look into it. Do seatbelts save lives? Probably. I mean, given the data, probably. Should it be mandatory? Not in my opinion. No, absolutely not. But it is what it is. And this is just, again, a tiny example of the countless laws that infringe on your and I rights all the time.
Does Indiana have a motorcycle helmet law?
Indiana's law is that if you're under 18, you have to wear a helmet. If you are 18 and over, you can do whatever the hell you want.
Fair enough.
Which is what I believe it should be.
That's fair enough.
Michigan, on the other hand, they had a helmet law, then they repealed it. Then I think they brought it back. I don't know for sure. I don't live in Michigan, but different states have different laws. Wherever you live, make sure that you know the law.
I figured you would know the helmet law.
Yeah, Indiana, I know for a fact it's optional if you're an adult. But for children, if you're going to put a kid on your bike, they have to have a helmet on. And that's the way it should be, because kids can't make kids cannot make life-altering decisions, people.
Yes.
All right. We live in a society that says that people have the ability to rehabilitate themselves. 30 years ago doesn't mean that's the person you are today, said Durant. Absolutely correct. Listen, I know people that were great people 30 years ago and are moronic pieces of trash today. You know who you are. No, I'm just kidding. No, I do, though. I know people that, back in the day were like solid stand-up guys who you could count on. And now, for whatever reason, I wouldn't trust them to watch my dog. Then there are people who were screw-ups, like major screw-ups 30 years ago. And now they're, running things. Well, not just, they happen to be running things and they're fucking it up. No, they're doing a good job, right?
People change.
And like, dude, when you're young, you do so many dumb things. That's the time to do it. Anyway, for McDonald, he said he has completely turned his life around and has worked hard. It sounds like it. After so many years of working, now I'm on food stamps, said McDonald. That kind of bums me out. I've always took care of myself. I did it all on my own. I worked hard, and now just out of the blue, sorry, it's gone. That's what basically they did. McDonald has an R&B hearing in October. The lawmakers interested in proposing legislation to limit the look-back time said they will be able to file a new bill when the session opens in January. registrar declined request because it's all individual cases and they can't talk about it. Look, absolutely, if someone is getting DUIs, they shouldn't be a professional driver. Look, how like they're doing bad in a car. Do you think they're going to do better in a truck? An 80,000-pound death machine? Nah, bruh. However, if in your 20s you did some stupid stuff and now you're in your 40s and you're not doing stupid stuff anymore and haven't for many years, there's a balance that can be struck. And being able to go 30 years back, dude, that's insane. That's like the Twitter cancel mob reading, tweets from 10 years ago and saying, look what a horrible person you are because you made a joke. No, we're supposed to be better than that here. We're the country supposedly that believes in rehabilitation and the fact that you can change your life. That's what America's founded on. Leave your old life behind, come here, because look, guys, most people I know are in favor of legal immigration. That's how we got here. At one point in our history, unless you're 100% Native American, and even they came here from somewhere, at some point you came here, right? Your parents, their grandparents, at some point y'all came here, and hopefully your people did it legally. Mine did. My wife's did. Yours probably did.
They did.
I am all in favor of legal immigration. But flooding the system with the illegals, especially, and then giving them help that is not provided to the American people, nah, bruh. Nah, you can get right out of here with that. That's not cool. So there's a lot of stuff happening now. And the central area, at least for the big questions on people's mind, is Springfield, Ohio, or at least that area. We're going to see what we can do about getting out there. We're dropping a video here in just a few minutes. You will already be live by the time you guys see this video, where we talk about our plans and what we're going to do. And hope you guys will check it out. That's where we're at, though. And I want to be very clear on the parents, right? I don't know what they went through. I can't tell you I understand, because we don't unless we go through it. And even then, it's a different situation, right? But that's a fucked up thing to say. I mean, that's a messed up thing to say. It just is. So you guys make your own determination. I just present you the info. You decide. That's it. That's all I got for you. I mean, wow. Clown world, dude. It's clown world. That's the only explanation. All right, guys. See ya. God bless you. God bless Indiana. And God bless the United States of America. I hope you have a wonderful day.
If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose. This has been Dion's Daily Dose, hosted by Dion Bergeron. Executive producers, Shawn Holgram and Michael Beebe. Copyright 2024. Dion's Daily Dose, all rights reserved.